Right now, this month, thousands of Americans are receiving a smaller Social Security check than they deserve. Not because of fraud, not because of a government mistake, but because they never learned the one formula that determines exactly how much money they get every single month for the rest of their lives. And today, I'm going to show it to you, plain and simple. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to make that number go up. Here's something that might surprise you. Most people, even people who have been collecting Social Security for years, have no idea how their monthly benefit was actually calculated. They just accepted the number the Social Security Administration gave them and moved on. And I completely understand that. When you've worked hard your whole life and finally reach retirement, the last thing you want to do is dig through government paperwork. But here's the thing. If you don't understand how your benefit is calculated, you cannot protect it. You cannot increase it. And you cannot catch a mistake if one was made. And Social Security mistakes happen more often than people realize. This is especially important right now in April 2026, because with ongoing cost of living adjustments, recent legislative discussions about benefit calculations, and more seniors working part-time than ever before, the decisions you make today, even small ones, can have a big impact on what you receive every month going forward. We're talking potentially hundreds of dollars a month. Over 20 years of retirement, that's tens of thousands of dollars. So please sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and give me the next few minutes. This information could genuinely change your financial life. Let's start from the very beginning, because understanding your Social Security benefit starts with understanding the formula. And I promise I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Your Social Security retirement benefit is based on something called your average indexed monthly earnings, or AME for short. That's a fancy phrase that simply means this. The Social Security Administration looks at your entire work history, picks your 35 highest earning years, adjusts those old wages for inflation, averages them out, and arrives at one monthly earnings number. That number is your AIM. Now here's the part most people miss. Once they have your AIM, they don't just multiply it by a percentage and send you a check. Instead, they run it through what's called a bend point formula. Here's how it works in simple terms for 2026. The first roughly $1,200 of your monthly average earnings, that first chunk, gets replaced at 90 cents on the dollar. That's a very generous rate. The next chunk of earnings, everything above that first amount and up to roughly $7,200 gets replaced at only 32 cents on the dollar. And anything you earned above that upper limit gets replaced at just 15 cents on the dollar. Now, why does this matter? It means lower income workers actually get a higher percentage of their wages replaced than higher income workers. The system was designed to provide a meaningful benefit floor for everyone. But it also means that if you earned higher wages, a large portion of those earnings barely move the needle on your monthly check. What comes out of that formula is called your primary insurance amount, your PIA. That is the base monthly benefit you'd receive if you claimed Social Security at your exact full retirement age, which for most people reading this right now is 67 years old. This is where it gets serious. Because here's what most people don't know. That PIA is not necessarily what you receive. The actual amount on your check depends heavily on when you start collecting. If you claim early, at 62, your benefit gets permanently reduced by as much as 30%. That's a permanent cut. You will receive that reduced amount for the rest of your life. And if you live into your 80s or 90s, as many of our viewers do, that decision could cost you many thousands of dollars in total lifetime benefits. On the other hand, for every year you delay claiming past your full retirement age all the way up to age 70, your benefit grows by 8% per year. That's guaranteed. That's more than most savings accounts or CDs are paying right now. So waiting from 67 to 70 can increase your monthly check by as much as 24%. That is significant money, and it applies every single month for the rest of your life. Now let's talk about who this really affects, because it's not just traditional retirees. This calculation matters across several different groups of people, and I want to make sure everyone watching today understands where they fit. If you are a retiree who has already claimed benefits, your base amount is locked in. but that doesn't mean you have no options. There are strategies around spousal benefits, Medicare coordination, and tax planning that can still change your financial picture. If you are a spouse, and this is huge, you may be eligible for a spousal benefit equal to up to 50% of your spouse's primary insurance amount, even if you never worked or had very low earnings yourself. And if your spouse passes away before you, you may be eligible to step up to their full benefit amount as a survivor. These rules are complex, and many spouses, particularly women who took time out of the workforce to raise children, are leaving real money on the table by not exploring their options. Pay close attention to this. If you receive SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, your benefit was also calculated using that same AME formula based on your work history at the time you became disabled. And when you reach full retirement age, your SSDI automatically converts to a retirement benefit at the same amount with no reduction. That's important to understand. If you are a public sector worker, a teacher, a firefighter, a government employee, you may be affected by rules called the Windfall Elimination Provision and the Government Pension Offset. These rules have reduced Social Security benefits for many public workers who also receive a pension from a job that didn't pay into Social Security. However, at the time this video is being released in April 2026, there has been active legislative movement to reform or repeal these provisions. If you are a public worker affected by WEP or GPO, I strongly encourage you to check the Social Security Administration's website for the most current information, because this could mean a significant benefit increase for you. And if you are still working, even part-time, and you are under your full retirement age but already collecting benefits, please pay close attention. There is an earnings limit. In 2026, if you earn above approximately $22,000 per year and are under full retirement age, Social Security will temporarily withhold a portion of your benefits. The good news is you do get those withheld amounts back in the form of a slightly higher benefit once you reach full retirement age, but it can catch people off guard if they don't know about it. Dorothy worked as a school librarian for 30 years with modest but steady earnings. When she first contacted Social Security about her options, she was told her benefit at 62 would be around $1,210 a month. She was tempted. She could really use the extra money, but she talked to a benefits counselor who showed her the math. If she waited until 67, her benefit would be $1,260 a month. And if she waited until 70, it would climb to $2,430 a month. Dorothy was in good health. She decided to wait. At 70, she started collecting $2,430. Over the next 20 years, that one decision, waiting those extra 8 years, will put an estimated additional $240,000 in her pocket compared to claiming at 62. Dorothy is very glad she didn't rush. Robert spent 40 years in manufacturing and has a strong Social Security benefit of $2,900 a month. His wife Linda worked part-time raising their 3 children and only has 18 years of work credits. Her own benefit based on her record would only be $620 a month. What Linda didn't know, until a neighbor told her, was that as Robert's spouse, she was entitled to claim a spousal benefit of up to 50% of Robert's PIA, which would be approximately $1,250 a month. That's more than double what she would have received on her own record. By filing correctly for the spousal benefit, Linda added over $10,000 a year to the couple's household income. They wish someone had told them this years earlier. Now here's the part most people miss, and it could cost them dearly. If you never take the time to understand how your benefit is calculated, you are operating blind. And operating blind in retirement can be financially devastating. You might claim too early because you didn't know waiting would dramatically increase your monthly payment. You might miss out on a spousal or survivor benefit worth hundreds of dollars a month because no one told you to apply. You might have errors on your Social Security earnings record, missing years, incorrect wages that have silently reduced your benefit for years, and you would never know unless you checked. There is also the issue of Medicare and taxes. Many seniors don't realize that if their combined income, including half of their Social Security benefits, exceeds certain thresholds, up to 85% of their Social Security benefit can become taxable. Without planning, a well-meaning financial decision, like taking a big IRA withdrawal in a single year, can trigger a tax bill on your Social Security that you were not expecting. And here is the hardest warning of all. Once you start collecting, many of these decisions cannot be undone. You have a 12-month window to withdraw your application after you first file. But after that, your options are very limited. The time to educate yourself is before you make these decisions, not after. All right, now that you understand what's at stake, let me give you clear, simple actions you can take right now, today, to protect and potentially increase your Social Security benefit. The very first thing I want you to do is create or log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. This is free, it's secure, and it is the single most important thing you can do. Once you're logged in, review your earnings record. Every single year of work should be listed there. If you see any years that are missing or show lower wages than you actually earned, you need to report that to Social Security immediately. An error on your record means a lower benefit, and fixing it can literally increase your monthly check. The second step is to use the retirement estimator tool inside that same account. It will calculate your estimated benefit at 3 different claiming ages: 62, your full retirement age, and 70. Look at those 3 numbers side by side. That comparison alone can be eye-opening. Run the numbers for your own situation, your health, your savings, whether you're still working, and think carefully about which age makes the most sense for you. Pay close attention to this next step. It's one most people skip entirely. The third step is to contact the Social Security Administration directly, either by calling 1-800-772-1213 or visiting your local SSA office, and ask specifically about spousal and survivor benefits. Even if you are single now, if you were ever married for 10 or more years, you may qualify for benefits based on your ex-spouse's record. Many people have no idea this is even a possibility. Ask. It costs you nothing to ask. The fourth step, and this is specifically for public sector workers, is to call the SSA and ask whether the windfall elimination provision or the government pension offset currently affects your benefit calculation. Ask them to walk you through exactly how it was applied, and ask about any recent legislative changes that may affect you. As I mentioned, this area is currently under active review, and you want to stay informed. The fifth step is to speak with a financial advisor or a Social Security benefit specialist, not just any financial planner, but someone who specifically understands Social Security claiming strategies. There are free resources available through area agencies on aging in your community, and many local libraries offer free financial counseling for seniors. These people can look at your complete picture and help you make the best decision for your specific situation. And one final action. If you are still working, check the current annual earnings limit for Social Security recipients under full retirement age. If you're close to that limit, it's worth having a conversation with your employer or a tax professional about how to structure your income to avoid unnecessary benefit withholding. You have worked your entire adult life for this benefit. Every paycheck, every job, every year of sacrifice and hard work contributed to what you receive today or what you will receive in the future. You earned this, every penny of it, and that's exactly why it matters so much to understand how it works. Not because the system is trying to cheat you, but because the rules are complicated and life is busy and nobody hands you a manual when you retire. The people who end up with the most money in retirement are not necessarily the ones who earned the most during their working years. They are the ones who took the time to understand the rules, ask the right questions, and make smart, informed decisions. You deserve to be one of those people. Your spouse deserves it. Your family deserves the peace of mind that comes from knowing you are financially secure. So please, don't wait on this. Log into ssa.gov today, review your earnings record, run your estimates, ask about your spousal options. And if anything from this video applies to someone you love, a parent, a sibling, a friend who is approaching retirement, please share this video with them. That one share could make a real difference in someone's financial life. If this video helped you today, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more seniors who need this information. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We release new videos every week about Social Security, Medicare, retirement planning, and government benefits, all explained in plain, simple language, just for you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.